Hi folks, Joseph Kursky here with you to talk about data equity. Data equity. Now, a central theme of the book, The GIS Guide to Public Domain Data, written by Jill Clark and myself, and our blog, Spatial Reserves, spatialreserves.wordpress.com, is access to data. Now, the term data equity is increasingly used to describe who has access to data, what factors influence who has access to data. In a recent informative article in GovLoop, equity is defined as the consistent and systematic, fair, just, and impartial treatment of all individuals pursuant to a U.S. executive order, recommendations from the Equitable Data Working Group. And when applied to data, it can illuminate opportunities for targeted actions that will result in demonstrably improved outcomes for underserved communities, end quote. To achieve an equitable data vision, the following practices will be employed by U.S. federal agencies. Make disaggregated data the norm while protecting privacy. Catalyze existing federal infrastructure to leverage underused data. Build capacity for robust equity assessment for policymaking and program implementation. Galvanize diverse partnerships across levels of government and the research community, and be accountable to the American public. That is a vision for equitable data, recommendations from the Equitable Data Working Group. Recommendations outlined to achieve the visions set above include revise the Office of Management and Budget, or OMB's, statistical policy standards for maintaining, collecting, and presenting federal data on race and ethnicity, generating disaggregated statistical estimates, including increased funding for selected statistical agencies, catalyzing existing federal government infrastructure to leverage underused data, building capacity for robust equity assessment for policymaking and program implementation, and galvanizing diverse partnerships. Including in the being accountable section is something I found particularly noteworthy. Build data access tools that are user-friendly. To this statement, I say, hooray. And indeed, advocating for user-friendly tools have been a central theme of our Spatial Reserves data blog for over a decade now. Executive Order 13571 focuses on transforming federal customer experience and service delivery to rebuild trust in government. That's a tall order, but specifically it refers to a time tax. When an individual interacts with the government, the time it takes to obtain the necessary information, permit, or anything else often takes needlessly long. In other words, a time tax imposed on the individual. This is often much too burdensome and must be reduced. Think about the times you spent at departments of motor vehicles over the years, for example. Now, as someone who's worked in 3 federal agencies over 21 years, I salute this goal, but also realize it will not be easily solved. The entanglements of regulations, sites created not with data users in mind, funding and staffing, and other challenges that we've described in our Spatial Reserves data blog are many. But we need to start somewhere. The tenets of this order need to be at the forefront of every agency creating and maintaining data portals and libraries, including geospatial data. Furthermore, the agencies need to be working together. We've spent decades creating siloed data libraries within organizations. These were noble pursuits for their time, to be sure, but it's a new era with new challenges, and collaboration and vision are keys to making the goals set forth in these documents a reality. Now, what are your reactions to this article? What stories can you share about your own progress in data equity in your own organization? So that is my reflections on data equity with a specific focus on recommendations from the Equitable Data Working Group, a vision for equitable data. I'd love to hear your reactions. Thanks.